Hi, I'm Shannon from houseimprovements.com, and in this video today I want to show you how to clean your air conditioner condenser coil. So if you've got central air conditioning somewhere outside, you're going to have a large unit like this sitting outside your home, and the cooling fins inside the unit get plugged up with fuzz and debris and dust and need to be cleaned periodically. I'd recommend, depending on your conditions, if it's fairly clean area and you don't have a lot of dust and that sort of thing, you could probably do it every couple of years. But if it's a little dirtier area, you should probably do it every year. I've neglected mine, so it's pretty dirty, so it's a good time to show you how to do it because mine needs to be cleaned. We're going to use a foaming product. I'm not sponsored by these guys, but this was one that was readily available in my area. So we're going to use this, and it basically sprays into the coils. We let it work for a little bit, and then we simply rinse out with a hose. First thing you want to do before you do anything is you want to disconnect the power to your unit. So by code, there really should be a disconnect right close by your air conditioning unit. The cover pops right off, and it's as simple as pulling out this plug right here. So now this has killed all the power to your air conditioner. If you don't have this for some reason, maybe it's an older setup or for some reason they haven't done it to code, you would have to go to your circuit breaker box in the home and turn off the main circuit or the breaker to this unit. So kill your power. That's the number one thing you want to do. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this fan unit. So this condenser works by this fan drawing air from the outside in and back out, and that's what cools your coolant in the system. So I'm going to remove the fan to get access to inside. Different air conditioners are going to be slightly different, so whether you take your fan off or the whole top off or whatever, it's just going to depend on your unit. So on mine, I can just pull this up carefully without catching the blades of the fan. And there's a wire conduit over here. Usually there's enough slack to just take your fan and set it upside down, and it'll kind of balance there, and you can usually work around it. You can move it as you need to. So we've got our power off, we've got our fan out, and we're just about ready to start. But the next thing we want to do is we want to look down inside and see how dirty it is, and clean it out if it's full of leaves or dirt or that sort of thing. So we'll move the camera so you can have a look at mine. So you can see down in below here, I've got all this debris. I've got some pine needles, I got some leaves, different things like that. And most times the top's usually open where your fan is, so stuff like this is just naturally going to fall in there over time. So I'm just going to take a shop vac and vacuum it out, and that's the first place we're going to start. Okay, so we got the bulk of it out of there. Now something I want to point out too that I thought of while I was cleaning it out, most of these units will have a metal pan or even a plastic pan in the bottom, which is this part down here. Now with rain and stuff falling in, there needs to be a way to drain it. So there's going to be some little drains, minor in these areas. It's important when you're cleaning it out to just try to vacuum those out as well, so that they stay clear and they're still draining when you do get water in here, or even when we're cleaning it today. So just give that a little extra attention. It's not needed to get it completely clean. Like, you can still see up in some of the corners and that. If I took some more time, I could get it completely clean, but for right now it's a lot better than it was, and I think we'll be all right with the way it is now. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you with a flashlight shining through the coil, or through the fins. We're going to kind of do a before and after. So we'll show you what it looks like before, and then we're going to do our spray and start our cleaning. So I've taken one of the outside panels off just so you can see the outside here of the fins, and you can see how dirty it is. I've got a lot of fuzz and stuff here from trees and who knows, animals, I don't know. But anyways, you can see how dirty it is here. I'm going to take a flashlight. I'm going to go from the inside and shine it through, and we'll zoom in with the camera here so you can kind of get an idea how dirty those fins are, and then we'll do it again after we've cleaned it so you can kind of compare side by side. Okay, so we're going to take our spray, and ideally I want to work from the inside out, so since I can get decent access at mine, that's what I'm going to do. If you had to do it from the outside because you didn't want to take off your fan, then you could do it that way. So I'm going to spray the entire fin area all the way around with the foam. It's going to foam up after a few seconds, and we want to let it sit for, I think they recommend up to 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. I don't think longer is going to hurt anything, but that's what they're recommending. So it just gives a chance for the foam to work its way into the fins and work loose some of that debris and dust and everything, so that when we rinse it with water, we can hopefully evacuate most of it. Okay, so hopefully we can get a decent angle here. When you're doing this too, the fins are very straight, like it's a straight through path. So the straighter on that you can angle your fluid, the more that it's going to shoot into the cavity of the fin. If you're on an angle, it's not going to go in there where it needs to work. So try to stay as straight to the fins as you can. So you can see it foaming in there. I'm just going to go around and get it all done, and then we'll get ready to rinse it out. Okay, so we've sprayed it all on the inside. I had a little bit left in the can. I actually gave that a shot on the outside. It's been sitting about 10 minutes, so we're going to give it a rinse, and I'm going to start kind of from the top down. You don't want to use too much pressure too close to the fins. If you have high pressure, you could damage the fins. You can see here how my fins are a little damaged from something. And you want them to look more like this, where they're nicely spread out, as opposed to those folded ones there that are tight. Some of this fuzz all along the edges there, I'll just peel that out by hand since it's easy to get a hold of. You can see the stuff all kind of coming out of there. You can see the water's kind of dirty down there too. And just like with the foam, the straighter on you spray, the better, because it'll spray through the fins. So I'll go around and rinse the whole thing from the inside, and then I'll spray it off from the outside, and then probably again once more from the inside, just to get it cleaned up, and then we'll come back and have a look with the light. Probably when it's this dirty with that fuzz, it'd be a good idea to take the whole cover off the outside. Okay, so we've rinsed this all out inside and out a few times. It's looking pretty good. I'll probably spend a little more time on it after the video, but I want to do the flashlight test here just to show you the difference. We're in the same spot, and you can see, I mean, you can absolutely see the light way better now than you could before. So we definitely made a huge difference on the amount of crud inside of there. You know, we don't have that fuzz anymore on the outside of the coil. Mine was dirty enough to the point where I think if I was going to do it again and it was that dirty, I would actually remove all of these shrouds on the outside that protect the fins, and really be able to get in there, because I can see down in here. You won't see it on the camera, but there's still some stuff caught up kind of down in this bottom, and I might be able to get it out with the hose with a little more work, but I think if we took this completely off, which is just a matter of a few screws, it would give it much more access. But if you do this a little more regularly than I've been, you'll have a little better luck too once you've got it cleaned out good. Also the foam, I was expecting to see it foam up a little more than that. That can was actually at least a couple years old, because I had intended to do this a while ago. So it's been sitting in the garage for a bit, so maybe it wasn't quite as effective at foaming as it maybe would have been if it was a fresh can. So, but anyways, it definitely did its job, because we got a lot of stuff out of there just flushing it out. So I think we'll be all right. Something else that the cameraman pointed out as I started spraying water everywhere is that it's probably a good idea to put this, at least put the cover back on once you've pulled this off to kill the power, because it's still live wiring inside of there. So good job, cameraman. He also mentioned the safety glasses still on my hat after I was spraying the foam. It says on the can to protect your eyes just in case. I obviously didn't, so wear safety glasses. And I did notice when I had my head kind of right down in there, the fumes are fairly strong, so just be aware of that too. So, okay, so if you want to have a quick look inside, maybe you can see I'm going to do some more rinsing and stuff yet, because I've still got some dirt in the bottom, and I'm going to run some water through my drains, you know, through these drains a little more, because they're obviously clogged up a little bit still. But I'm going to do a little more rinsing just to get some more of that mud out. But you can see, you know, you can see how much cleaner it really is. So kind of just to finish things up, what you'll want to do is take your fan unit. Be mindful of the wires over there. And be mindful of the blades as well. You don't want to bend them if you can avoid it. So you just want to set it all back in place, put your screws back in, put your panels all back on, and the very last step would be to open up your electrical shut off here and put this connection back in. I'm leaving it out because I am going to just do a little more hosing and cleaning on this unit, but this is the very first thing you take out and the very last thing you put in. Okay, and it might even be recommended that you let it sit for a couple hours and just dry out a little better before you even throw the power connection back together. So hopefully you found this video good and informative as far as cleaning your air conditioner. You can check out our channel and see lots of other videos on DIY home improvements and general maintenance like this. There'll be always a link below in the description, and we just appreciate that you watch. Also, if you like the video, click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and you'll be able to see even more of our stuff every time we put it out. So thanks a lot for watching.